Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cars and Health Bars. Today, we're going to be talking on where our builds currently are and where we might go with our future builds. So, Jordan, what do you currently have in the works? What's your daily? What are you rocking right now?
So my current build and daily is my 2010 Camaro SS 6 speed. And currently what I am working on, now this is a big project, but what I'm currently working on is my differential. I'm doing a Eaton True Track 373 or 391 gears. I'm not decided yet. And new bearings, solid bushings, just the whole 9 yards pretty much.
Yeah. So, as far as what you're going to be getting into as a final build, what are you kind of looking at for power numbers and how you're essentially going to get that power out of your car?
So for power numbers, I'm really not sure where I'm gonna be. I know of similar setups, same cam and blower, around similar boost. I've seen 800 plus wheel. I'm hoping for just eight. Honestly, if I make more, I'll probably tune it down.
So you're
And
going
then
more the LSA route.
yeah, and uh, it's for money. I think LSA is a good route for boost. But I think there's other options too that people should consider, not just the factory setup, which would obvious. Another thing about the LSA setup is it's a factory blower, so if you throw factory connections to it, like factory uh, intercooler, like factory piping, everything, if you just pretty much make your car ZL1, you can buy all the parts at a parts house versus if you went Pro Charger, you're going to have to wait on back order parts most likely.
Best thing too, man. All you need is just a pulley swap, and that's so much.
Yeah,
For what that is, you just swap out a pulley.
fully in the tune and bam, you're making whatever.
So you've taken the stock LS3, you've stroked it out, you've 416, everything's forged, so you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, and actually the block isn't even a LS3 block. It's actually a ZL1 block from a Camaro. So it's literally the exact, it's pretty much a ZL1 the car will be.
It's nice to step back and take the time and take the money to actually protect your overall build before you actually go just throwing boosted stuff. I feel like a lot of guys just see a LSA. You're like, oh, okay, well it came off essentially the same motor. I'll just slap an LSA on mine and it'll be the same as a ZL1 or a CTSV. A lot of people try that and they try building boost and they switch out the pulleys and they essentially just blow everything up. You wasted your money.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people don't realize that the ZL1 came with larger ring gap from factory than fifth chain SS. And that's a major part in like how much boost you can run because if you got real tight ring gap and your temps get hot, you're pinching a ring, you're going to break your piston or you're going to have a catastrophic failure somewhere. And I think a lot of people will kind of overlook that in the LS market because it's so saturated with stock bottom end 5.3 or whatever.
Yeah, if you decide to go this route, even if you're just gonna stay in a, I would the best advice I would have is get to know your local machine shop, and if you don't have one local, definitely try to find one close by. They will be your best friend if you're going into engine building, or at least just building your own engine.
Absolutely. Our local machine shops helped me out a ton. And, he's a great guy to work with.
And another thing too, a lot of especially I'm speaking for our local machine shop, they are so back ordered because it's a dying trade is machine working because they're getting overran or they're getting outbidded by these big companies like Texas Speed and Brian Tooley. Like they do it probably way cheaper and way fast. They're probably not cheaper, but they do it much faster because they have a production set up. So if you're planning on doing anything to your motor, I would definitely get in contact with a machine shop and at least talk about it. They'll talk to you. You know, a lot of these guys are just old guys that were machinists from way back when, and they just want to still be around cars. That's why I would do it, and that's why I want to get into it.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing is, I mean, a lot of these old timers got a lot of tricks up their sleeve for finding horsepower, especially in these older blocks and like Gen 2 small block Chevy, early Gen 2 Ford. I mean, any of these like a lot of these older machine shops are really specialized in like small block Chevy, small block Ford, big block Chevy, big block Ford, and Dodge too, respectively.
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, they grew up on the track, and they didn't go to school. They didn't see it in the books. They seen it in person. They seen the different cases. I mean, you can't see a specific event happening in a textbook. You've got to actually be there and diagnose it yourself. And I know our local machine shop. His father was one of the baddest drag racers in our area, and he kind of got grandfathered in by his father, and now he don't do so much racing anymore now that he's older, and he still stays overwhelmed and overbooked at his own shop, but he's seen all these issues and he knows what to correct, and he's very meticulous, and he takes his time in his builds because he knows what to look for and he knows what to perfect, and there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah,
Speaking
for
from the
sure. And
manufacturing side, at least.
absolutely. And Uh, to anyone doing their own build out there, I would highly recommend you just take a minute and research, some of the different components. If you're new to this, I would just take a step back and make sure you understand the fundamentals of your engine, whether it's push rod, dual overhead cam, whatever, and then just learn the fundamentals of engine building, especially keeping a clean work environment, making sure you go through the torque procedures correctly. Um, Looking for budget ways to increase horsepower. I mean, there's a lot of small things that a lot of old timers did. Like, I know one thing I never even thought of that I've seen the old timers do is paint the inside of your block so that way oil returns faster because it comes off of the paint quicker than it would metal.
Well, I did not know that either.
Yeah, or if you like were to sand the inside of your block real smooth, that would help too.
I know that this is a trick that isn't necessarily for specifically power, direct power, but I learned that like you see on Street Outlaws, they have that special stuff they've pre-made that's basically stick. I mean, that's all it is. It's just stuff to help you adhere
Yeah,
to the road. But apparently, I was told by my grandfather, drag racer, that the liquid that's left in Clorox white bottles, that is like better than anything you could ever get if you do a burnout on top of it and then launch with that on your tire. I'll I think that'd be a good TikTok to make, is testing that theory out. If you want to
yeah,
see
for
that,
sure.
definitely follow us on TikTok, because that's probably something, at least in the summertime, I'll be trying.
Yeah, I feel like we could make a whole series on something like that.
Yeah, like a MythBusters,
Yeah,
streetcar edition. That'd be dope. And definitely follow us on TikTok. We're just at Cars and Health Bars, just like on Spotify, but all one word, no spacing on TikTok, I guess. So Jordan,
so
I know you do have a little C10 too.
yeah, I'll
Where are we
we'll
at with
get
the
to that.
C10?
We'll get to that bridge when we cross it. Um,
On
so
the back burner, the pot's getting black 'cause it's been back there so long, getting rust
I
on it.
know it's well, I did undercoat it, so thank God it's the only thing that'll rust is the body, and that'll just add to patina, right? But so about my C10, I'll talk a little bit about it, but nothing on this truck is really set in stone as it is right now. I wouldn't look forward to nothing with it. I really don't know where it could go. But as of right now, it's a 4 volt main 350 Goodwrench block, 30 over, and it's got Summit Vortec as cast heads with bigger valves, springs, comp cams, 268 duration. I think it's 268 duration. I can't remember the part number, but I have no clue what this thing would make as is. I've never started it, but it is together in the truck.
As soon as that Camaro
Um,
came around, it got put on that back burner.
yeah, it might get the Camaro's LS3.
Man,
That's in the plans, but we'll see.
that'd be a nice truck just to slam and rod out. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. I need to stick shift swap it. I want to do that so bad.
It sucks being young, not having too much time and not enough money.
Yeah, I got other things I'm trying to take care of, so that's what's been on the back burner. And to anyone listening, I would not recommend having two builds at once. It's an easy way to drop some money.
Can vouch, absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, tell us about your plans, Josh, for your fifth gen and maybe your third gen.
Yeah, so I'm in kind of the same boat. I've got two cars, two Camaros, and they're constantly fighting over my wallet. Uh, I would say I have more of an even balance than Jordan does. I'm definitely trying to keep up with both builds at once. My whole thing with getting the third, I've had a fifth gen for a while, and I found out, I had a grandfather that drag raced, and I'm like, man, I've always wanted to do that, but I don't want to blow up. Well, my Camaro isn't my daily, but I do drive it pretty often, but I didn't want to blow up my daily on the drag strip, so I was like, I want to get something where, man, if it hits the wall on the third pass, it's whatever. Well, I get this third gen. It's already, bottom end is done as far as the crank and cam were in it. All I had to do was finish up the top end, and that's essentially the whole reason I bought that car too. Is I paid a shop to have my fifth gen built, and it kind of just it gave me a bad. It didn't give me a bad taste in my mouth, but I wanted to, like Jordan said, understand the inner workings of an engine, understand how everything works, how everything goes together. So that's the main reason I bought it is a project, so I could have a way to figure out how all this goes together and everything, especially the 350, because man, 350, that's where it all started. If you understand a 350, that's the building blocks right there. And
Yeah, I would say if you can build a 350, then you should have no problem learning the LS. It's really similar in design.
yeah, so I mean, like I said, like you, I have no idea how much power it's gonna make. It's been bored over. It's got a big cam for 350 in it. Best heads you can probably put on a 350 too. So yeah, there's no telling. Honestly, if I put it on nitrous and blow it up, I'm not going to be too crazy upset. I probably will be just because I put so much time in it. But I definitely in game want to have an LS in it. But if the fifth gen ends up taking over, it's already done. The fifth gen, all it really needs is I've got some bigger wheels bought. I've just got to put some tires on them, and Jordan keeps prodding at me to get a diff. There's in the fifth gen it's already there, so it's kind of hard to put money into the third gen. And really, all I like from getting it, it's ready to run now. It just needs the fuel system finalized. It's kind of just ran outside of the car now via gas can and fuel hose, but that'll have to be finalized, and I need a drive shaft, a custom drive shaft made. Other than that, it few little small buttons here and there that need to be buttoned up, and it should be ready to rock and roll, at least for the testing phase of the car. You take a car that you've never driven before, that you've taken apart everything on. It's good to take it slow before you just immediately rip it in the drag strip. I mean, if you are going to only drag race it, I would recommend going very slow and tuning everything down just so you can get a feel for the car first.
Yeah, I would probably try and drive it on like a back road if you can and just make a few test hits on like the street first if no one's around.
Yeah.
Because I would rather, I'm not saying it's bad to break on track. No one wants to break, but it would be better to break on the street because you're not hindering anyone at the track who's paid for the time there.
Especially close by too, because I mean, for us, I'm like an hour from our local track, so I mean that's a pretty long haul for a trailered car. Whether you actually pay to have it trailered or if you do it yourself, regardless, you're paying out of pocket for something that you could have done in the street. We've got and like I said, if we try out this method with the Clorox, that's if it's gonna break an axle, it's probably gonna break an axle if that stuff sticks real good.
For sure.
So
That third gen is probably stock diff, right? So,
yeah, we did buy a different rear end. I think the guy said the rear end came out of a Corvette of that year, but still, it's nothing crazy, I'm sure.
yeah. What about your end plans for the fifth gen? Do you plan on leaving it NA now or? You still thinking about supercharge maybe one day, or
I go so back and forth. I really want to hit that number of 850. It's just like 800 850 is like that number that it just like that's enough to that's plenty enough for the street and that's just enough for the drag strip. But I can't see myself getting that in A without having to spend a god awful amount of money and probably still not hitting that number. I think we've
I
talked
would
about it
not.
before.
Yeah.
You're gonna end that block's life if you try to push that much power out of it, especially a small block. You know.
We've seen small block like we've seen an LS. This was like a 430 or 40 cubic inch LS in a that made nine something. Well, I can't remember. It's an S10, but a block like that. I mean, NA pushing high power out of a block that's less than 500 cubic inches is pretty hard. I mean, it's why the 632 is 1,000 horsepower. It's such a you just there's no replacement for displacement in the NA aspect of things. It's really hard to get big power in a and displacement's really one of the only ways to get it reliably.
Yeah. I do like the idea of staying in A, just having like a insane cam and you know like everything like that from NA. But at the same time, I see people with these superchargers, and if I was to go that route, I probably would. I know it'd be ungodly, but a Whipple would probably be my way, just because it's like, man, you could get some serious power out of those Whipples.
For sure, man. Um, Another thing for anyone building a car and wanting cheap mods to go fast is weight reduction. It costs hard if you do the work yourself, it costs nothing to pull your passenger and your seat out and pull carpet. Uh, if you want to go the route, you could buy carbon fiber, but that is really expensive for getting wet carbon or dry, really. I mean, any carbon is usually expensive.
I'm not saying it's a fun job either. That's going to be a pain to tear all that out, you know, especially if you go as far as taking the carpet out. That's not going to be fun. But you know, it's if you're willing to want power for no money, there you go. Or more
Yeah, for
like less
sure.
time, less ET really.
There's a lot of things you can do. A lot of things. One of the things I think a lot of people underestimate is wheel weight. I mean, the only people I really see paying attention to this is people on closed tracks like NCM Motorsports Park or Thunder Hill Valley. I mean, wherever. I mean, a lighter wheel is gonna make more power and stop faster. Less weight is just always better. Yeah, the less weight you can get out of your car, the better. Throw a smaller fuel tank in there. Do whatever you can.
Yeah, and like you said, some people. I was blown away. I seen somebody had a carbon door panels. I was like, dang. I mean,
Yeah.
it costed ungodly, but the amount of weight reduction is insane. Doors are so heavy.
Yeah, and on the fifth gens, a lot of people don't know this, but the 1LEs actually have lighter doors.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah,
That
a
is,
lot of people did not know that.
yeah. I mean, I didn't know that. That's crazy. You wouldn't think that.
I don't think it's a lot of weight, but they are lighter.
Huh. I would be curious to see what those numbers are. That's kind of crazy. So
Yeah, it's
what do you have in your future? Do you plan on getting another car? Or are you just gonna kind of stick with what you got now? Do you plan on getting like a drag or track car?
so I've thought about it a lot. I don't know because I do want to get a motorcycle for just cruising. So I'm not really going to consider that a track car or nothing. I don't plan on going crazy on a bike. I'm not that guy. But um, I've been thinking about the idea of selling the C10 for a third gen, possibly, because not for drag race like you're doing, but for autocross or road course, I think would be really fun. I like the third gen platform. I like the history of it with the IROC and stuff, so
Yeah,
I
and
think it would be
that's
nice.
probably. I mean, that and the Fortune are the two cheapest Camaros you can get. I mean, they are dirt cheap.
Honestly, I just don't like working on the fortunes. They're not impossible. It's just I'm not the guy to own a fortune. I already know.
Yeah.
I'm a third gen type guy. I can throw a fifth gen set of seats and console in it, and it'll look good.
Oh yeah. That those look so clean. I'm not being biased at all. Like they just look so good.
I also wouldn't mind a Fox body. It's kind of stuck between those because they're both. You can get the body, you can get rollers cheap for both of them.
Absolutely.
So, I've seen a Fox body with a 9 inch and like full tubular front end roller for like 5 grand, and that's a deal, dude. They come with a 9 inch with big tire, tubbed.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's weird how many Fox bodies you see, but yet there's nobody saying they're overrated or overused. It's just everybody loves them. They're so universal.
yeah, it's kind of weird how you see like the LS is overrated apparently, but the Fox body platform isn't. And I'll tell you, if there's one platform I see used the most, it's probably the Fox body, the
Oh yeah.
S10.
Yep, that's go to drag race
It's
body.
it's because what I was saying earlier, the weight savings, they just don't weigh nothing. So you can add power, but taking away weight is just as effective. So to start with a lightweight platform means so much.
I would say a risk too if somebody that doesn't. I mean, obviously they do have less weight, but the reason is because they're unibody, and you
Yeah,
have to definitely take that into account if you're going to be driving on the track where you're getting sideways and getting in some high speed situations. Because if you hit a
yeah,
wall, you're kind of screwed
I would
unless you can
recommend
straighten it
a
out.
cage.
Yeah, for sure. Because those cars get totaled so easily. Like that's the worst thing about those cars.
I would recommend anyone who's planning on track only is chassis connectors. Anything to keep your car rigid too. That's often overlooked, especially on road course.
I got very very lucky while I was building my third gen. I was using a very very old and unsafe engine hoist. I did not even notice that it had been like welded and braced, and if I did, it looked fine to me. I was moving my motor and trans out of the car, and that brace actually buckled. I don't know if the welds broke, what happened, but it dropped the whole engine and trans. The engine was on the floor, and the trans crashed down on top of the fender. I got very lucky that it took out that fender because that's pretty easily replaceable part, but man, if it had hit anything else, I would have been, other than the door, I probably would have been screwed. I mean, I would have just had to deal with it being dented, honestly.
Yeah, and anyone doing the work themselves, I know it sounds kind of corny, but safety, man. Watch what you're doing. Wear safety glasses.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
whenever I was doing
What's
that,
good racing if you lose your eye or something? You can't see. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I was doing that in a very, like, you've seen my shop. There was a time where it was not very well lit, and it's like, I can't, I never even knew that the thing was braced before because it's low on the ground. I'm never looking down there, and it was just very unsafe. Like I said, be extremely cautious, and I even more unsafe. I was working by myself, super early in the morning after work while I was on night shift. Nobody knew I was out there. If that had crushed me, I mean, I wouldn't be here right now probably. You know,
yeah. I mean, another thing, good tools. I I'll give you an example of good tools. I'm not trying to say buy Snap-on or nothing, but I got this set of Snap-on flake drive sockets, and you can take another like Craftsman socket, Duralast, whatever, and a good socket like a flake drive Snap-on will grip a bolt a lot better. Just the hex, it fits better, and there's a lot of cheap tools you can buy. But I would recommend if you're doing a lot of the work yourself, you buy good tools. Make sure you know how to use the tools. Make sure you know what you're doing, obviously. I mean, I recommend everyone build their car themselves. I think it's a great experience. But at
absolutely.
the same time, be cautious. I mean, don't skip out on simple steps, I understand some things may suck, but at the end of the day, a good job should be done all the way through, not 50%, especially if you want a nice car.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm back whenever I first started building my car. I was on a budget just like everybody else would be or will be. I bought everything off Amazon, and man, I paid the price. I had like terrible tools. I think my I don't remember if it was my socket. I believe it was a just like a regular socket wrench. It like broke off inside of the hex head. What can you do? Just buying cheap tools.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Chinese aluminum.
there's a place for cheap tools. I think sockets can be in that spot. I would recommend a good socket set, but like impact sockets, for example, I mean, your Harbor Freight Pittsburgh sockets are probably going to work fine.
Yeah, I'd be cautious with some Harbor Freight stuff, but they've got a lot of good stuff. Like I got a Allen wrench T nut or T handle Allen wrench set, dude, they're so good, so handy too. Like they're magnetic, super cheap too. I
Yeah,
just
for sure.
I wouldn't
I
recommend
recommend
Amazon,
everything.
man.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more
Buyers beware.
Amazon is saturated with a lot of Chinese tools is the
Yeah,
problem. Like a lot of Chinesiums on there. I've gotten good tools from Amazon. I think you just got to know what you're looking for. But um, I would recommend everyone just go to Harbor Freight, pick up like some socket sets, some magnetic trays, and basic stuff. Maybe engine stand, engine hoist if you don't got one.
Harbor Freight's one of those places where you can go in with $100 and leave, and you feel like you got your money's worth if you spend that whole hundred
For
dollars.
sure. It's like the Waffle House of auto parts.
It is. I mean, even like in a pinch, like that day that my engine and transmission buckled and got thrown on the floor. I mean, I had to go that morning and go get a new engine hoist just so I can get mine up off the ground. Man, I caught that thing on a sale too, and I don't even remember how much I spent for it, but it was worth every dollar, man. And it wasn't. I'm telling you, it was not very expensive. I've got pretty much most of my stuff in my shop has
I
came
know
from
two
Harbor Freight.
people now who've bought Harbor Freight engine hoists and had
Yeah, my
good
engine hoist is
good use
collapsible
out of
too.
them.
So I mean, I mean, you don't use an engine hoist every day, and I would go so far to say
Yeah,
you use it like very seldom. But like, it's so nice to be able to fold it up and roll it in the back corner out of the way. It's so convenient.
I just wouldn't buy them Harbor Freight jack stands.
Oh yeah, you don't say. You imagine
Nah,
having a
I think they
warranty on
fixed that.
something. You imagine having a warranty on something that could kill people. It's
That's
terrible.
yeah. I pray to God that everyone watching this has good jack stands at home.
Yeah, I
Please
mean,
have good jack stands. That's not something to play around with.
nah, yeah. There's just some stuff you don't cheap out on.
For sure. I mean, your safety's number one.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's that's pretty much what I got going on. I have been looking for a daily because I have three V8s counting the third gen that don't run. So I've never seen gas mileage out of the teens. So I have been looking for a import on Facebook Marketplace, but that's been a losing battle lately because
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
market
willing to
is
pay, and
hard.
most of the imports have been driven by a younger person who's either learning to drive or wants to kill a car. So
Should we talk about some of our pet peeves on Facebook Marketplace real quick? Maybe just a few
sure,
a few things.
man. Oh my
Um,
god, if you have a detachable steering wheel and do not have a cage, I want to beat you with that steering wheel. You look so dumb. Like that's the first thing I asked too, because of course I'm running into all these dummies because I'm looking for the imports. So that's the first thing I asked. I'm like, hey man, has it got a cage in it? Nah. Why you got a detachable steering wheel? I don't know. Looks cool. Okay. You're
yeah, and
defeating the
anyone
purpose.
listening, um, if your steering wheel does not have an airbag, please have a good seatbelt and
Or a
like
racing
harness.
harness, anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend a racing harness if you don't have a driver airbag.
You
That's very dangerous. That's a good way to break your nose, maybe fuck your face up, you know.
you sounded ready to jump on this topic. What'd you have in mind?
I don't really got nothing too in particular in mind, but I've seen a few things that I'm not like fond of. I think all these people, these when we're talking about imports, um, if I was to look at an import, I myself right now would be looking at like a Skyline GTST or something. And this market for those cars, like anything imported,
Oh yeah,
really sucks
you're
right
paying
now.
for it.
Like these cars are not worth what these kids are asking. Like if you got a car, please, like I know Kelly Blue Book for a mint condition 92 Skyline is like 30K, but if you got stickers down the side of your car, like in hearts, and you got a heart hanging off the interior and it's all ragged out, got dents, paint's fading, like your car's not mint, man. Just list it for what it's honestly worth. You're never gonna sell it.
If you have locally hated sticker anywhere on your vehicle, just know I will lowball you and not feel bad about it at all.
If you have locally hated on your car, I'm not offering on it. I don't care what it is.
I'll
Like,
pay you
you're
to
not
rip
getting
that
my
off and
money.
repost it.
I'm not buying a car with locally hated on it.
There's a Civic really close by that's dirt cheap, and I'm like, man, why? Why are you like this?
Yeah, I hate the Civic market too because everyone thinks just because it's a Civic, it's automatically the best car ever made. I
Mm-hmm.
like Civics, but just because you're clapped out 99 Civic is with 300,000 miles has a nice interior doesn't mean it's worth 10 grand. Like, I'm sorry, but you got 300,000 miles. I don't know how that engine's been treated.
I wouldn't mind having a 370 or 350, but everyone marketing on Facebook Marketplace either has a detachable steering wheel or a dummy
Right.
that's burning up the clutch.
I can talk about VQ runners all day. I think we should save that topic. I can go on about that.
The vape pens.
I was thinking more of the straight pipes that sound like trumpets.
The crackle can, yeah.
Yeah, don't even get me started on cackle tunes either. Jeez. Here we go.
What else do you have on Marketplace before we move on?
So, wheels in a lift is not a build, and cutting springs is not lowered. You know, it might physically be lowered, but I'm not calling that lowered. I'm calling that clapped.
Clapped you up. Uh,
If you have like a million lights on your dash, I'm not buying your vehicle for what it blue books. I'm sorry.
I about just went off on the whole truck community, but that's going to be a topic for another time.
Yeah, I
'Cause
feel like we could really leave that.
I'm gonna hurt some feelings in the truck in the truck episode.
I got someone in particular. I wish I could post a photo for people to see. I'm sure you already know what I'm thinking of.
No, but I'm gonna have to ask you because I'm lost.
You know this person.
I'm
That's
sure.
how I know them.
So you kind of wanted to hit on some COD zombies.
Yeah, I could talk about COD Zombies quite a bit.
So what do you want to hit on COD zombies? It as a whole. Do you have a particular game you have in mind?
Um, I'd like to talk about what made it so good at first here, kind of with the start. And for a lot of people, what made it good was we were just kids playing a game. I think a lot of people kind of mistake nostalgia for a game being good. And by no means am I calling zombies bad. I love zombies. I'll still play it to this day. But um, so I'll talk about World War Zombies, World at War, just for like a split second. I think it was a great introduction. I remember when I was a kid and I first played World at War and beat the campaign. That shit scared the shit out of me, dude. I was probably like 10 years old, and all I see is this dude on the ground with some zombies running at him, and he can't move. Like, I was freaking out. So right away, I was hooked, dude. I loved it. And Black Ops 1 Zombies, I think, really took things to the next level, especially with Moon. I think the Easter eggs were awesome. And I think that's kind of what made Zombies what it was. I don't know if you want to put any input on. I don't know if you played Black Ops 1 Zombies a lot or not.
Man, for me, it was all about that Advanced Warfare Zombies. Best DLC ever.
Really?
No, actually, that's probably the only zombies I haven't played. Just
I never actually played the DLC for that game. I
for
did play the first map. I thought it was pretty fun for what it was. It's different.
yeah. I think that's what Call of Duty does best. They do something different, and everybody hates it at first, but man, I'd probably, if it went on some crazy Steam sale, I'd be like, all right, let's check this out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not trying to get off the zombies topic too much, but the XO CODs really weren't that bad. I never did play Infinite Warfare multiplayer much, so I can't speak on it. But Advanced Warfare, I mean, aside from the Obsidian Steed just running every lobby,
Don't.
uh,
Yeah, the MV4 Flightline, but that's an Infinite Warfare gun. Just comes to mind.
yeah. Um, I mean, aside from like weapon variants, I think those games were good. Like aside from the loot boxes, because that's when that first really started to pick up.
Yeah, hitting on Infinite Warfare, man. That I think everybody hated that zombies, but man, I loved it. That was so
Yeah,
awesome.
that was honestly, I could talk about that too. Yeah, Infinite Warfare Zombies was a lot better than people gave it credit for.
I just, I get that you want a serious a serious story based zombies game, but man, you gotta lower them standards sometimes, especially for these non Treyarch games. Man, they're trying their
Yeah,
best, and I thought they hit it
I
out of
feel
the
like
park.
yeah, I think Treyarch is the storyline zombies game, and I think the other like um Infinity Ward and everyone else kind of knows they're not going to compete with that and win, so they know to kind of do their own twist.
So you remember Ghosts a little bit more than I do. What was Extinction Mode like? I remember playing it, but I don't remember if I really became fond of it or not.
I loved Extinction, dude. I played the crap out of it. I thought it was so good, and I've actually watched a few like YouTubers go back and replay it, and they thought it was good too. I thought it was so different, and I can talk about Ghost on a whole episode because I think it had so much undeserved hate. But as far as Extinction, I thought it was cool how you progressed and how you could level up like your starting weapons and they'd actually be good. Like not just like the Mustang and Sally where it's kill you, but like the pistol you could start with four different pistols I think, and every one was like one was the Magnum, so it had great damage, slow reload, slow fire rate. It was just different, and I remember you'd have to do different tasks, and you could get money from extra bonus missions and stuff. And there's just a lot of teamwork involved too if you actually wanted to win. And I remember I finally beat the first map with some randoms, and that was hard.
Dang, I don't remember much from it. I don't know that I even played it all that much. I do remember playing it because the only thing I can think about it is it reminds me of the Margwa from Black Ops 3, like the creatures
Yeah,
on
for
there.
sure. Um, all I'm saying is, if you see me with my propane tanks, don't shoot them.
Oh yeah, was that a thing on there?
So they had the barriers that would block you from the next level, and you had to kill them. Otherwise, just you keep getting swarmed. And I would
No.
always, everyone would throw the propane tanks, dude. I'd have so many propane tanks, and some people would shoot them as soon as I like threw them halfway.
They took a note from Dead Island's book.
It made me so mad. It wouldn't even kill me. They just blow them up to kill like one zombie or one. I can't remember what they're called, but that made me so mad.
What was probably your favorite zombies map or game? What comes to mind?
Jeez.
Because I'm
Um,
kind of I want to swing towards Black Ops 3 just because of Dizendrock and the Shadows of Evil because that was great. I think it's a tie between that and Black Ops 2 for me.
well, it's hard for me to say, but when I really think about it, my favorite map's got to be Kino der Toten. Just it's what got me into zombies. It's still my favorite map to this day. I can play it on Chronicles or Black Ops 1. And I wish I had the clip of this. I know Gavin or Luke's got to have it somewhere, but I remember we were playing on Kino, and if you host disconnect in like a private match, and you all come back like no one dies, which is pretty rare. Some of the zombies can just T-pose, including the crawlers, and I'll never forget. Dude, we disconnected. I went up to the stage, and all the zombies were just T-posing, chasing Gavin. It was the funniest thing I've seen.
If you follow
But
us on if we still have this clip, I'll post it on TikTok if we still have it if I
yeah,
can find it.
this clip is so good. They stopped doing it because I got close, and I wish they would have kept on. It was so funny though. I had so many good moments on Black Ops 1. I love the song for Kino too. I think I'm a big rock and roll guy, so
Man, that was so cool
I
about
guess
zombies too, having songs in the
yeah,
maps.
for sure. And I think Black Ops 1 kind of started the whole Easter egg trend with like the songs, obviously, and then there were a few little Easter eggs on Kino. I think I never did any, but I think there was like hide and seek with Samantha on there and a few things.
I think that's so
Um,
cool how they took zombies, like, a super basic concept, kill the zombies, stay alive, and they built on it. They're like, okay, here's some cool songs
yeah,
for you
they
to
added
do.
perks,
Yeah.
and they all had their own songs, and they were all like all the songs were catchy for the perks. Everything was really well done for the time that the game came out.
And then you get in these
I
big
think
story based zombies, man. It's just like, it's so great.
Yeah, and the story just is crazy. Like, I could go on and on about the story. I don't even know it all, like, towards the end. But Black Ops 1 also had 5. I thought that was awesome. I know that not as many people liked 5. I love Eminem, so of course when the Eminem song on there is on, I'm jamming. And then Dead Ops Arcade.
Oh,
I don't know.
completely forgot.
I love Dead Ops. But I know a lot of people aren't as fond of Dead Ops.
Man, I want to
Was
beat
it
that
on
so
Black
bad.
Ops 2? I don't think it was. I think it was only on Black Ops 1 and 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. If it was on
Um,
2, I'm unaware.
if we're going to talk about DLC, people hated Verruct. I loved it. I thought it was one of the scariest maps. And if you play World at War, you'll remember that area. That was took from World at War, that map. I remember that map in the campaign. Um, I think World at War zombies too, like World War II zombies, is just like awesome. It's scarier. I don't know why, but it just seems scarier to me. And
Yeah.
then let's see what other maps. Ascension, another great map, man. That was one of the best. Had the rocket, the Easter egg for it was awesome.
Yep.
The moon lander's pretty cool. The Ghost device, that's awesome.
And then you get to Black
I
Ops
never
2.
I never did play crap, the one with George Romero,
Yeah, I don't know.
Call of the Dead. I never
Oh,
did play it.
no, I
That
didn't
looked
either.
super fun though. I liked how George Romero was in it and he was pretty much invincible. I like the Easter eggs on it too, the all little Easter eggs.
So did you
And then
like
there's what
huh?
there's Shangri-La, and I never did play it much. I never liked it, but I've kind of grown on it a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Chronicles too, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What are some things what did you think about Transit? Cuz I feel like you've talked about going both ways on it.
Yeah, so I understand why people don't like Transit, but I think what people don't think about is towards Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Ghosts, the Xbox 360 had been out a long time. It was about time for a new console. And they were really working hard with the hardware of the 360 because it's hard to make a game bigger and better when you're stuck with the same hardware from the past 5 or 6 years. But as far as Transit, I think it was one of the coolest ideas they had for a map. I like how they had Nocturne Totem, the diner, town, bus
Had the
stop,
boss too, had the Electro
tower.
Man.
Yeah, the God, I can't even remember the name of them. But I always thought all that was cool, and I liked how you could upgrade the bus in different parts and make a few of the
Yeah.
traps. The jet gun. I mean, it wasn't good, but it was cool. I mean, the jet gun is probably the worst mystery gun ever. I'm gonna call that, but it was still cool, and it's the idea of the paralyzer and buried. So it had its purpose, I guess.
What's probably your favorite wonder weapon that is in the franchise?
That's a hard one, honestly. What do we consider? Or are you just considering like the powerful weapons, not like map specific weapons?
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'd rather talk about like my favorite weapons versus wonder weapons.
Okay.
I never did use wonder weapons much because they usually suck for points.
And do not have a lot of ammo.
Yeah, they're really not as good as people lead on. They're good for high rounds, but at the low rounds, they're really not as good. I think my favorite weapon, and I don't know why, I just like it. I think it kind of suits the map. I'm buried the new model 1887. I think it's 1887 revolver. I always thought that thing was just so cool. It was powerful. I think it's better than the Python too. I always had that in the locker on buried. That was my go-to.
Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. You can also store
That's
money
something
unburied.
else I liked. Yeah, that's what I liked about Transit too. Was they had the bank there, and you had the locker.
Yeah,
I think there's a
absolutely.
lot of good ideas implemented in Black Ops 2 that people just don't think about. Another map people hate. People really hated Black Ops 2 Zombies off launch, man, because Die Rise gets so much hate.
Yeah, the only one I never got to
I
try.
understand why, because the verticality. I mean, a lot of people just suck at parkour. Let's be honest here. And I mean, I'm no exception. I'm not that good at the strafe jumps and stuff, but if you like get into Die Rise, there are so many ways around that map, and I do not like how the perks are random in the elevator slots, but I'm not gonna hate it. It's not as bad as Nuketown where you could be like level 20 and not have Jug, because that's probably well, I guess that was out before Die Rise too. So yeah, people really hated Black Ops 2 off the start. I didn't. I remember first playing Black Ops 2 Zombies, man. I'm so nostalgic of that because I remember my first time on the bus. I
Yeah,
remember that shit, dude. I remember getting left behind at town, or not town, the diner. I remember
yeah,
getting left
the
behind, dude. I was
Gremlins.
like, what do I do? I've never played this. I was just like lost.
I had to wait
I could
for the
talk
bus to
all
come
day
around.
about
Yeah.
it, dude. Yeah, then your first time trying to run after it, you find out there's the denizens. Yeah, have fun with that. I think that's why most people hate it is because of the denizens. But if you know how to deal with them, just shoot them before they run up on you.
or
Then you can
just,
run in the fog.
or you can literally not see them at all if you just play in the map. Like they're there to keep you in the map.
Yeah, that's the reason the fog is there, is because they don't want to load all of the map at once. They want to save the resources for your Xbox to what you can actually see.
Yep. on the and Origins too, that added so much to the depth of what a zombies game could be, as far as the staffs and the whole
Yeah,
everything, the lore.
for sure. I think Mob of the Dead was people's first favorite map on Black Ops 2. Because before that, people were just playing like survival on town, and
Yeah,
that gets boring pretty quick. I get that. And Mob of the Dead was really different. I liked it a lot. It had a
had the element
location
of
everyone in the U.S. knows. I mean, even most people over like in Europe probably know about Alcatraz Prison.
yeah, and they implemented the whole like using the ghost system to unlock doors and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I wish they kind of did something more like that in the later maps. And then the Tomahawk. I love the Tomahawk, bro. That was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
Upgrading the Tomahawk, that was a cool Easter egg. The Golden Spoon.
yep. The the acid gat.
Yeah, they get the free blunderbuss, then get the acid gat. The Death Machine was on there. That's the only map the Death Machine was on,
Yep.
I think.
I think it was on
Was it?
Origins too, but it was the first appearance. I'm sure.
No, it wasn't on Origins. It might have been on. No, it was only on that map, yeah. I like the sniper tower. You could upgrade it. You know, you could upgrade the traps. I thought that was cool. I don't remember seeing that anywhere else.
Was that the
I remember.
first? No, that's not the first time we seen the shield. I think it was in transit too. It was, yeah, the
Yeah,
rocket
it
shield.
was. Was it a rocket shield in transit? I think you just placed it down.
Oh
I
yeah, that
remember.
is right. That is right.
Now I remember another funny story on transit. I There used to be a glitch where the box is over there, right behind the box in that bathroom. I think it was. It might have been in the mechanic shop of that part right there. But you could place the shield down in front of you, and like you could do something with placing the shield down and get stuck in the map where zombies couldn't hit you. And I did it. I remember. I used to cheat all the time. I didn't really care. I was a kid.
Yeah, speaking of glitches, there's
But
one on Buried where you had to have the paralyzer, and there was a tree in front of the witch's house where you could paralyze yourself
really,
on
I
top of
never
a
did
tree.
that one.
Yeah, that
There
was
was another one on Buried that I did all the time.
across from the
And
box, that little roof.
nah, that ain't a glitch. I'm talking
Yeah.
about out of the map. We'd get out of the map with the tramples team in one corner of the tunnel, by
Oh,
kind of by
really?
Witch's house, by the tunnel
Yeah,
from leading all the way around from the powerhouse to the barn.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, me and Caleb used to do that one. I remember.
Yeah.
I like Buried too. I could talk about Buried a lot. It is easy mode of a map
Oh,
because if you
yeah.
got money in the bank, then you just got it made round one.
And the paralyzer.
I've literally got pack a punched on round one, both my guns.
That's insane. I mean, and the witches are kind of challenging, but if you've done it enough times, you ain't getting hit by them. Same
Yeah,
thing
I
with the
didn't.
maze.
I remember they took your money, and I was like, "Wow, bro, taking
Yeah.
my hard-earned money in real life and the game now."
You think the worst that can happen is going down, but really it's like you get all your money taken from you right before Pack-a-Punch. That's the most like terrible thing ever.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I just saved up 5K exactly, and now this bitch taking 2,000. What the heck?
And then you're stuck in the Pack-a-Punch room, arguably one of the harder places to hold
What?
down if you're alone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I remember everyone goes slow through the witch's house, and that's the worst strategy you can have because
Yeah,
they just keep spawning.
you got to get through there before they can all spawn in.
I also liked how they added in the time bomb, or I can't remember what
Oh
they
yeah,
called it.
yeah,
But
yeah. It resets the round whatever you throw it on. That
you
was a
can get
unique
your free
feature.
perk and then do it again and get another free perk. You can fuck with your friends hitting the mystery box. He gets ray gun, you hit it. Like no, you don't.
PhD flopper on
I'd
that
do
map
that.
too.
Yeah, there
The free
was, wasn't there, the
PhD,
free
yeah,
perk?
yeah. You jumped off the around where the box is.
I remember I used to get the perma perk for PhD too, I think.
Yep.
I think no, was there a PhD perma perk? I can't remember. I always had perma quick revive because everyone would die that I played with.
Yeah. Another.
That's another thing about Black Ops 2 they did right was the perma perks. Such a cool little Easter egg. No one really knew about it at first.
Yeah.
See, they had perma jug, perma quick revive. What else do they have? They might have had a stamina up one, but I don't remember that.
Let's get on the. I was trying to hit on Origins. What would be your favorite staff and why?
So, I don't go for super high rounds. I don't like to play for extended periods of time like that, usually. if I get past around like 50, man, I'm about done. So that, that's why I rate the fire staff number one. Because the ice staff, the only reason it's good is because of the charge. Without the charge, it's the worst staff ever. The fire staff is good without it, upgraded or without upgrade. I'm going to talk more about the upgraded staffs. Uh, I'll give you like a quick tier list. A, B, C, D. Or no, we'll just go A, B, C, and F. And F tier is wind staff. Hate that staff, man. It's just it does nothing at high rounds. It literally just like
Blows
it's
them
like the
back.
worst thunder gun ever, dude.
Yeah.
The upgraded wind staff charge ain't too bad, but at higher rounds, like even around 40 something, it's not as good. And then yeah, definitely lightning staff next, cause man, you run through some ammo with that thing. I do like it. It used to be my favorite when I first played Origins. I think it's underrated for the early rounds because it kills the Panzer quick. But I always liked how it made the lightning strike like thunder sound
Yeah.
whenever the player shot. So you knew that if homie holding the lightning staff was about to go down because you'd start hearing some thunder. So that was always funny. Charge for it too. It was different. And then ice staff next. Everyone knows ice staff. It's best staff. Not to me, but to everyone else, it's pretty much the best staff. I like the fire staff. I just think it's cool.
Ice
It
staff's
definitely
that
does the
spam
damage.
staff.
Dude, lightning staff is spam, spam and win, dude. Like, I could go on about. I wish I had like a clip of someone spamming it, because you can just trigger finger that staff, dude. Like, how we get out the scuff controller, set the trigger stops, and go to town with that staff.
And I mean, just like Origins, that dies and rock with the bows, man.
I could talk about their Azadrock a lot.
Dude, the Souls bow, it like so hard to get as far as like the steps goes. But man, it's such a fun bow to use, especially if you
That
charge it
is the
up. It's
hardest one
so
to get
OP.
out.
It's just one of those
That's that
bows that I
hard.
could probably just, I could almost, I think we picked that game up for the first time in like 3 years, like a few months ago,
Yeah.
and I think I was almost able to get the bow again just without even looking anything up. I think I had like one step I couldn't remember, but man, that's just, you get in a strategy of knowing how to get something like that, and it's something you won't forget.
Yeah, like I can do all the staffs on Origins, just about everything but the codes pretty much by memory. I can do it all. And then all the bows, I don't remember them as much because I didn't play Black Ops 3 as much on the zombies. But I remember most of the wolf bow and fire bow. But the light it is lightning bow, right? It wasn't like wind, it was kind of lightning too.
Yeah, it was
That,
lightning,
that one was
soul,
pretty good.
wolf.
All the bows were really good. Like there wasn't like a super bad one, is what I liked about that.
Yeah. The only thing I wish they would have added to the bows is a way to upgrade them like you did the staffs. If there is a way, I don't know about it, but I'm pretty sure there isn't.
I kind of want to finish on Origins. Easter egg, 10 out of 10. That's one of the coolest Easter eggs ever.
Yeah,
And then
I don't think I can say I've ever did an Easter egg before.
I did it with Luke, Gavin, and Brady, so you can imagine my pain. Nah, but
Actually, I think me and Trish did the Easter egg for Shadows of Evil because it's pretty easy. Or we got
yeah, I
really
wanted
really
to talk about
close.
Shadows of Evil because uh, I don't see a lot of hate for it, but
It's
I think people,
underrated for sure.
yeah, I honestly like it more than Drazendrock. I think I I think Black Ops 3 came out pretty hated for no reason. Not just zombies, because I don't think people hated zombies, but the multiplayer.
Yeah,
I think people just hate the game because it's EXO,
yeah,
and I don't know if people were expecting it to be in zombies or not until we got the trailer. And I think they did a great job with Shadows of Evil. I think
I
the
thought
Easter egg is awesome.
the gobblegum was a little weird, but you know it's one of those
Yeah,
things you don't have to
that's
have it.
something
You don't have
I
to use
don't
it.
use it, and if you don't like Gobblegum, you don't have to use it.
Yeah, I will say that was one of the things that was a little weird, but you know
Because
it
it
plays
is
to
pay
your
to win, and
advantage.
that is pay to win. If you pay a couple dollars, get your
Perkaholic.
perkaholics, what are you gonna do? I mean, you're OP.
Your Perkaholics and your Phoenix Ups. I mean, y'all
Yeah,
are gonna win no matter what.
and you get the nuke spawn. or the random power up spawn. Everyone does that in the round, and then boom, everyone's got max ammo, and
That's
the
another one of
round's ended
those.
from a nuke.
That's another one of
I've
those
seen,
maps I can almost just like speed run the beast on almost every area in one go.
yeah, for sure. I like the Easter egg a lot. I did do the Easter egg on that map one time, I think.
Oh man,
Did
and the
we?
songs too. Snakeskin boots on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I love songs. Origins song good. Mob of the Dead has good songs.
I like how
I
the
don't
song.
remember Transit.
Yeah, I do. It was like a super hardcore rock song, but I don't remember how to. The
Probably
only
Avenged Sevenfold when they're.
it was the teddy bears. Remember?
Yeah, I remember how to do it. I just don't remember
Oh
the
yeah,
song.
yeah. I don't either. I know what I like.
Buried. Hmm, eh,
Did Buried have a song?
yeah, it had one. The teddy bears.
Oh okay. What
And
I liked
then
most about the Shadows of Evil one is it was like the song was concurrent to the like the setting. I
the
loved that.
timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And the song was good too. That was a good song. That was a banger.
The only time I got sad was whenever I got the non vocal version, which was fine. It's nice to
Yeah, I
appreciate
know.
just the music, but still, I like them lyrics.
Dun, 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 dun,
You
dun.
better believe if they're not singing, I'm gonna sing for
For sure.
them.
I don't remember the Rosendraux music. I don't know if I ever did.
I don't
I
think
was
I
more
ever
worried
did it
about
either.
those.
Yeah,
I do like how they had the disco. That was cool.
I will say one game that just, in my opinion, did not do well on their zombies was Cold War. No, was it Cold War?
No, I liked it. Cold
No.
War Start was good.
What
It
was
was
after
different.
Cold
I
War?
liked it.
What was after Cold War? Uh,
Vanguard?
Vanguard. Yeah, Vanguard. Man, me and my wife played that, and it's like we beat it to the full. Like it was literally so easy to the point where we were sitting in like the spawn room, looking up any way we could do more stuff on that game. Like we were looking up any other Easter eggs we could do. That game was so
What?
bland.
I don't even remember Vanguard
It
zombies.
it was the most hated zombies because like there's basically a safe room you go to. Like you start out in this safe room and you go in portals and you do missions in those portals and then you come back out and it's like you're back in the safe room again where nothing can hurt you and you can buy all
I
the
don't.
perks you want. It's so easy.
I don't
It's
think I played Vanguard
don't
zombies.
I wouldn't waste your
I
time, man.
play. I don't hate World War II zombies like that. Isn't World at War Black Ops One?
That was the more like free roam kind of like humongous map, wasn't it? I only played it like once or twice. It looked like it was going to be hype.
Which one?
World War II zombies.
World War II zombies was pretty cool. I thought.
I
I
only
never
played
did
it
beat it
once.
because it was hard, and with randoms, that was like a challenge, dude.
Yeah.
It was hard, dude. I didn't even know what I was doing half the time. It had the challenges on screen for you too, which is what I liked. It showed you your steps.
Yeah.
Um, I really liked it. It was gory. It owned itself. You know, it didn't try and be something it wasn't. It was what it was.
That is right. Yeah.
It
I
had
never
that
got
one.
that
I
map.
never did play the DLC, but it had that one map that was like stupid small, like in a building. Like it was literally just a building, like apartment, like pretty much, and it had upstairs and stuff.
Dang, were they
It
trying to
was
do
like
like a throwback to World at War zombies?
I guess it was smaller than Noct, I think. Maybe not in total volume, but like it was small.
Dang.
That was like a hardcore zombies
Is there
player.
is there any zombies map that really let you down, or any zombies game that really let you down?
I never did play Black Ops 4, but I don't think a
Okay.
lot of people liked Black Ops 4. I do like some of the storyline in it. I like how it ended the story, you know.
To this
I think
day,
a lot of
only
people
Call of Duty
thought
I
this.
skipped, and I think it's
Yeah,
same
that's
for
the
you.
only one I've ever skipped. I don't know why. I really don't like hate it or nothing. It seemed like it would have been a COD I liked as far as multiplayer. It's competitive, you know.
Yeah,
But
I didn't even know they had zombies. I know they were.
the
That was.
starter map on it, it was that big gladiator arena. I'm not as
Oh,
big of
that is
that. Like
right.
it had all the people live in the stands. I always thought that was really weird.
Yeah, I remember. I watched Speedy or somebody play that. It looked okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't
I
look
don't know
terrible.
the actual story of that map. But the Mob of the Dead remake, I thought that was pretty cool. The new five in Nuketown, I thought that was cool too. That looked fun.
The only thing that kind of sucked about the remakes is they have what is that called, Black Ops 3. It has their guns in it, which is fine, but it would have been nice to see them use the guns from the
Yeah, like have
original
a
map.
Galil or something in there.
At least a few sprinkled in. I think
I thought it was cool because they didn't just redo the maps. Like remastered them. They actually added new sections and different like challenges. I thought that was cool.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
I really liked Blood of the Dead story wise. I thought that was a really nice cutscene and end of that map.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and do some Easter eggs now, and at least
Yeah, you should really like rewatch all the Black Ops 4 Easter eggs.
there's so much lore behind zombies. It's so deep.
You could watch it for a few hours straight, man.
I mean,
Yeah, I could go up.
you got the two storylines. You got the storylines with Richtofen and Dempsey, all that, and then on the other side you've got Misty and
Well, it all ties
Preston.
in
Oh, it
with
does.
Richtofen. Yeah, they're all working for Richtofen because remember, Stuhlinger can talk to Richtofen because
Yeah,
he
that's
ate
right.
the zombie flesh.
Yeah, and I know even like Shadows of Evil is supposed to be somewhat one of them are like relatives to the original crew or whatever, or
Oh,
time
yeah, I didn't
travelers or
know that.
something. Yeah, I think
I know Richtofen's in the Easter egg for the map.
there's even like a poster boards or a poster somewhere in the map like having somebody wanted from the original crew. I don't remember who it was, but yeah,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I remember I did watch one of those long videos about all the lore and they tied Shadows of Evil in some way or another.
Yeah, we skipped a lot of maps if y'all are into the lore. There's so much like Shino Numa is the start, like up there. Uh, Nocturne Totem. There's a lot of stuff we kind of skipped over in the zombies. There's just so much to talk about,
Yeah,
and
I mean, this might not even be the first part. We might do another part later on about zombies because there's just so much to discuss to try to cover it in 30 minutes.
it's hard to really talk about what made it so good. You really got to experience it. It's an experience for sure. Your first time playing zombies.
Yeah, and it does suck that, at least on Steam, all these Call of Duty games are so expensive. Maybe
Yeah, I could go on a rant about developers.
maybe you console guys can pick up a copy at a yard sale, or maybe it might be
Yeah,
cheaper on the actual your Microsoft store.
you
But
could. You probably. I wonder if Game Pass has anything with that. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Honestly, probably Call of Duty, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Battlefield is a little bit more lenient, especially like you can pay $5 and get access to every EA game ever made.
Yeah, I love that about like EA kind of sucks, but they didn't do that right.
Yeah. Well, man, that's all I've got. I definitely want to encourage you guys to check out the Discord as well as the TikTok. It's kind of taken off a little bit more than what we thought it was going to do.
For
And
sure.
definitely follow the podcast, share it to your friends. You know, put it in your groups. We want to get you guys listening. We want to do something big here, and we definitely want to focus on our community. We want to involve you guys. You know, any open lobbies, call-ins. We're gonna do it big. We're
Yeah,
gonna do
for
it right for
sure.
the people.
Like we could do COD Zombies with y'all. That would be
That would
fun.
be awesome. Just
I could see some people trolling, but won't buy the door.
yeah.
It'll be like that one meme. Open the door. See that?
With that all being said, you guys definitely check out some COD Zombies. You know, do all that stuff. Like, check us out, and we'll see you guys next time.